Kia ora and welcome. This video introduces the idea of prompting and how we can use prompts to create images. As you may be aware already, generative AI is prompt-based. This means you can create content through your written input. Prompts can be natural language sentences or questions, comments, code snippets, commands, or any combination of text or code. The art of creatively defining prompts is an emerging field known as prompt design and prompt engineering. It involves the crafting of effective and efficient prompts to get the desired response. Educators and learners may need to experiment with choosing the right words, phrases, and symbols and formats to guide the model to generate high quality and relevant output. In this video, I'll introduce the idea of prompting by exploring how we can use generative AI to create images. Many AI tools can now create AI images. Some of these are standalone, like DALL-E or Microsoft's Bing Image Creator or Google's Midjourney. However, a growing number of apps now integrate AI features within their functionality, such as in Canva or Microsoft PowerPoint. A key advantage of using AI image creators is that an educator now has the ability to generate images tailored to their specific needs, saving time otherwise spent searching through extensive libraries. This approach also reduces potential copyright concerns, as you can create unique images rather than relying on existing ones that might have restrictions. That said, it can be a challenge to get the desired results when creating images through prompts, since generative AI tools can also be unpredictable. Therefore, in this video, I will quickly demonstrate how to use a simple AI tool, Magic Studio, to create an image through a prompt. I'm using Magic Studio in this demonstration as it doesn't require you to sign into these services. However, the approach I'm exploring here would work well with any AI image generator that you choose. To create an image using Magic Studio and their free version, you go to magicstudio.com AI art generator. In the dialog box, you just simply write your prompt. In this example, I want a cartoon of a university student holding a tablet in their hand. So you just write exactly what you're looking at, and then you create the picture. It's as simple as that. If you don't like it, you can refresh it. If you like it, you can download. So creating an image using AI is relatively simple. However, getting it to create something a little bit more precise can be more difficult. So if you're looking to create an image that incorporates words or it needs to be accurate, such as creating the life cycle of a frog, it's best not to use AI to achieve this. If you use AI for images, you need to decide on and balance the decision between quality, cost, time, and the purpose of the image. AI is powerful, but like any tool, its effectiveness depends on how and when you use it. Therefore, if you need assurances around quality, ownership, and accuracy, it's best not to use AI to create these images. Improving the quality of generative AI images can come from better prompts and a little bit of trial and error. The current weaknesses in AI image generation may be overcome as AI evolves. Even now, with new features offered in tools like Microsoft Designer and Adobe Photoshop, you can use prompts to edit images, add filters, even make adjustments to those images, like removing people or backgrounds from an image. However, there's a simple way to improve your prompts, and this is using a template. By including specifics like style, setting, you can get a more refined image. Of course, this level of detail isn't always needed. It just really depends on your needs. It should also be pointed out the more detail you put into your prompt, it might also confuse the output. Therefore, it can be a delicate balance between too much and too little information. The image on your right is an example of an output that I got using that prompt. Like all generative output, every time I use a prompt, I will get a different response. However, in this example, it might be slightly the same image every time. In the eyes of AI, designers typically look the same: bearded young white men. This leads us to an important point around generative AI. AI is trained on billions of data points. Therefore, if there are trends or biases in the data, this will also manifest in the output. So, while learning designers are not all bearded young white men, there is a trend in the demographic around this. In fact, if you put designer, scientist, or doctor in your subject prompt, it's more than likely that AI will produce a white male to represent these fields of study. This raises, therefore, an important issue around ethics and how we need to be conscious around not just the benefits of AI, but also the risks. We'll explore ethical issues and risks later in this course, but it's important that we think about this early when we are using AI. In a recent blog post by the developers of Scratch, a tool to teach young children to code, they talk about why they are not yet integrating AI art into their tool. One of the reasons for this includes the issue of bias. They're concerned that when a young child is using their tool and asks for a picture of a computer programmer, the output would be a picture of a white man, therefore reinforcing the kind of stereotypes that Scratch is trying to overcome. However, Scratch also highlights a number of other issues around image generation that have convinced them not to yet integrate it into their tool. So, this includes the potential of generative AI to produce inappropriate content, such as nudity and violence images, that would be inappropriate for young audiences. But they also have wider reasons around why they're not including generative AI. And so, while our example that we used in this activity is a free image creator, many AI image generators are not free, which reinforce inequality of access, where many learners wouldn't be able to afford the tools and the features of creating images if they were to integrate into their tool. Also, there is an environmental cost when it comes to image creation and using generative AI in general. Creating images and using generative AI takes considerable computer power. This is something we need to be mindful when we're using generative AI and making sure that we are using it appropriately and not overusing it. Lastly, like other text generative AI, these models are trained on millions of images, often without the consent of the artists. Therefore, using these tools can reinforce inequity and fail to give credit to the actual authors of these images and text that these AI tools are trained on. Therefore, when using AI, we need to think about the benefits and the drawbacks. Being mindful of these issues means we can take steps to mitigate and push back on the drawbacks. This can be simple in terms of just how we can redevelop our prompts to be more inclusive in terms of the images that we are producing, but also allowing us to have voice and being able to advocate for better practice around AI tools.